It is absolutely natural that you as a player rate new project by its trailers. But it is hard to reveal real gameplay feeling from these pre-made scenes because devs didn't hesitate to use tricks from the movie industry. And through editing, epic visuals and sound effects, these game trailers can differ from the real experience. Here we're talking about the initial impression, and at a first glance, new action platformer Foregone looks just amazing. And today we will try to find out why it didn't achieve a dizzying success and what mistakes in game design were made. And if you're ready to travel into this mysterious Callaghan city, we're moving out. But first, we will talk about design elements that are implemented on the top level. Yes, this is visual style. Here, I want to draw parallel with the astonishing Dead Cells, because these both projects use a unique approach to rendering graphics. First, all the game object models are drawn and animated in 3D, and then transferred into pixel graphics using a bunch of rendering tricks. We will definitely discuss all the details of this production pipeline in a video dedicated to Dead Cells. But now, it is worth noting that the result of such work is really impressive. The static scenes are great, and it gets even better due to the smooth and detailed animations. These are implemented literally at the AAA project level. Our main character, the enemy roster, and especially the bosses. The results of this painstaking work opens up a truly new dimension of aesthetic impression. Just look at how the various weapons and abilities are animated. The purest delight. But enough of praising. Behind all the brilliance of the visual style, the raw design elements and mechanics are hidden. We will start with the basic mechanics. In Foregone there is a decent amount of weapon types, each of which has its own moveset. Basically, each weapon has a combination of attacks following by a strong finisher move. And the problem is that the timing of these combos is just excessively overstretched. You do almost no damage with your initial strikes and have to wait for a single finisher, so it is annoying. Additionally, the fact that the enemy behavior system is tuned to match these overstretched timings makes gameplay even worse. Each enemy turns into a punching bag, standing still for a few seconds after you dodge his initial move. This creates an absolutely unnatural combat experience. Yes, further you progress, less annoying the situation will be, as you always will meet a bunch of enemies at once, but still they will act like a clumsy dummies. The solution here is very simple. You need to balance the damage numbers of initial attacks as well as AI behavior to make combat pace feels right. And if you're worried about the game balance violation, then you should work with the timings, but you don't need to spoil the core gameplay. It would seem that this is an exaggerated claim, and devs just following the high risk and high reward concept. Sure, but any concept got its limits and should enhance gameplay, not break its flow. In the end, I found the daggers as the only suitable weapon that is less affected by its pacing problem. But AI behavior system remains disappointing still. Second claim to the basic mechanics is the excessively frequent attempts of enemies and environment to affect the move speed and level of control of our character. I'm talking about the stagger, freeze, deceleration and other mechanics. The aspiration to make the game more challenging is clear, but due to the overwhelming usage of these mechanics, you can only frustrate the player. From game design point of view, such mechanics should be implemented very gently. Better give a new ability and develop a complex platforming section around it. It will work much better this way. By taking control from the player, you risk to break the connection between player and the game. And oftentimes, level design can help solve this issue. But sadly, the level design of Foregone can't offer this. This is one of the weakest elements of the game. The visual component of the levels is good, but architectural could be much better. The levels are identical and represented as claustrophobic tunnels with closed doors and switches that opens further areas. Moment-to-moment gameplay is unrealistically monotonous. Yes, there is a decent amount of good platforming sections, new hazards and tools like elevators, water flood, and there are hidden secret areas, which really adorns the gameplay. But remember that 95% of the time you will run along the same corridors over and over again, and all these positive aspects will quickly fade out. Level designers are very reticent to use verticality and open spaces. But why? This is a great way to diversify both the visual and gameplay components. A lot of successful action platformers can confirm this. But that is not all. This project suffers from the terrible user interface design. The menus, buttons, tooltips and information placement are just disgusting. I'll show you. To level up my abilities, I have to go to the particular NPC. Then I should confirm that I want to level up the ability. Why? Is this NPC could offer something else? Okay, then I should to scroll through the tabs of menus with absolutely inconvenient controls. Page up and page down. On a laptop, this suffering is doubly magnified. Next, I have to confirm that I want to upgrade the ability. Really, the third time. And only after that I will be able to level up my ability by pressing another button. Finally. And you should also notice the leveling currency meter placement. First, it appears only after we have moved to the particular ability leveling 3. Of course, why do we need this information in the leveling menu permanently? And secondly, the placement of this currency meter is chosen poorly. But never mind, we finally managed to complete this leveling quest. And by clicking page down, we lose all that progress. All actions will be cancelled if you forget to press and hold the E button at the end of this whole procedure. God, how annoying it is. And I am not even talking about the map of player's screen side movement. But take my word for it, this design concept is not even being considered. Here you can say that it looks like the team simply didn't have time to work out the interface. The deadlines were pressing and they tried to do the best they could. Perhaps, but there are so many trivial UI design mistakes that I would rather believe that this work was done by an intern or completely outsourced. Because compared to the perfectly implemented visual elements, the UI is just awful. But to be honest, there are one more excellent game design element that we should praise. These are the boss fight encounters. Here, Foregone provides the best experience. Level designers created suitable arenas, and core mechanics issues goes by because the main gameplay goal is to survive this bloodbath. The bosses themselves, both visually and mechanically, are implemented at the very top level, although it's hard to admit them extremely challenging. But they provide diverse gameplay and give exactly the level of tension, challenge and emotions that they should. And if you're okay with this kind of combat, level and interface design, you will definitely like these boss fights. You won't regret it. So in my opinion, Foregone could easily become an independent bestseller if it has a consistent game design. And on that note, I wanna thank you for watching this video. And if you enjoy it, you know what to do. I'll see you soon. Bye.